How's it going, everyone? I'm Aaron Castro. Welcome to The Hook. And we're talking Week 4, Six Nations. Going into it, we're going to talk about France versus England first. Some injuries are starting to take toll on the England side. Jack Nowell, Sam Underhill are definitely out this week. Dylan Harley's dealing with, it said muscle tightness in his leg, so I'm going to call that a hamstring based on how I know, injuries are. Otherwise, they'd call it like a high ankle sprain. So Luke Cowan-Dickin from Exeter has been called into the squad, so he'll probably sit on the bench behind Jamie George at the hooker position. And then we've got Alex Lozowski, Zach Mercer, and Sam Simmons have both been called up. George Ford could likely hit the bench here. The connection between him and Faz really wasn't working that well against Scotland, and I think there needs to be a significant change there, whether that's Ford coming on the bench or Ford ending up outside of the squad for this match. Elliott Daly, coming back from an ankle injury, is coming back into the squad, so I think the change really should be Owen Farrell at 10 and Elliott Daly taking up the 12 shirt, and I think that should cue up a different style of play going on that still gives you your attacking 10, but it also takes Faz out of a position where he has to tackle a lot, which should be helpful. And Elliott Daly he's a machine, so really see that working out. Looking forward, who of the suspended players does Jacques Brunel bring back? Bastareaud made his presence felt immediately in their victory over Italy, and the guy you probably want to see back on this squad, who's very dynamic, is Teddy Tomas. And with that, what is the keys to the game? So a top 14 style scrum versus an Aviva scrum really isn't that much different compared to versus a France versus a South Africa. There's a lot more similarities. So what you want to see is just the small things and how they scrum, and then the push from the second row and back row off of these two sides. I think it's going to be very tough. I think it's going to be another meat grinder, and the weather's probably going to be a bit better. So you probably want to have pure flankers out there on the sides. James Haskell has been in the squad the entire time, and I think he'll finally get either a start or bench time this tournament. He normally wears 6, but I think he could end up wearing 7 for England, or it could be completely wrong and he doesn't play at all this tournament, which would suck. And there was no reason for him to hang around except, I guess, to make money. And if guys are in the squad the entire time, they need to play. That's my opinion. I think England will have it, to be honest. They're going to win closely away, and it's going to look better on paper than Ireland's victory over France. My buddy over at Rugby Forecast has England winning by 6. So we'll really hit those up towards the end. And, you're going to see... I think you're going to see a good system of play from England this week, coming back from their loss to Scotland, because I'm not sure if Scotland can do that every time. Moving forward, Wales versus Italy. I really don't think there's much to talk about here, because all the guys were back. Lee Halfpenny, George North, and everyone was healthy again in their last match when they played against Ireland, which was, a crazy match to watch, and it was really good rugby from both teams. I think Italy is just going to, sadly, I think they're just going to be put down. I had hopes at the beginning of the tournament for Italy just to get one win, but their loss against France sort of just wrecked it. And Wales is just... even though they've taken that loss, they're just playing at a different level right now. And even though it's like simple forward attack system, Gatland is really using his athletes, which is and playing champagne rugby and attacking every part of the pitch, which is really beautiful to see. And yeah, I really don't think there's gonna be much there. I think it's gonna be a big win for Wales. And then the next big match becomes huge because Scotland did beat England, and if Scotland is somehow able to beat Ireland, then this changes the entire tournament, really. And I think it would put Wales in the driver's seat, you know. So Ireland versus Scotland. So Tadhg Furlong, he's fit, he's back. Should be back in the squad already. And then, what you want to see is a lot of, like, Johnny Sexton heroics here and a lot of team play from Joe Schmidt's side here. And, they've just got a more dominant scrum than the Scots. But that's what I also thought with Scotland. So if you look at how Scotland's going to play, if they can just achieve parity with Ireland, it's going to be very different. The system of defense that the Irish put out there, I don't necessarily think it will be able to keep up as much as England's could have. England's didn't, and they made a lot of mistakes. If they can create errors against Ireland, we're going to see a different team going out there. If you get the same heroics that Huw Jones had, and Greg Laidlaw's boot is true, and Sean Maitland's, makes all those good decisions, then it's going to be an interesting game. I think it could be an interesting game early, but my expectation here is that's not going to happen. I think Gregor Townsend's going to put his team in position, but the Scots haven't played consistently, right? So I think that England was the one game that they were able to get up for, and we're still building towards something with them. I think their big push is going to be this summer and next autumn, where we'll see a lot different. Everything will coalesce, more or less. So, moving forward to predictions, rugby forecast. Ireland versus Scotland. Rugby forecast has Ireland winning with a 78% chance of winning. 31-18, Scotland has a 20% chance of winning away at Ireland in the Aviva. And then we have France versus England. France has a 34% chance of winning at home, and it's 17-23, as I said earlier. England with a 64% chance of winning. And this one is basically sealed up. The model says that Wales will demolish Italy 40-12. 94% chance of winning at home in the Millennium, and Italy has only a 5% chance of winning. And that's really, I see that. I want to say England. If you're an England fan, you really want England to win by at least 10 points and show that their systems are in place and that they're able to dictate the tempo and dominate. If you're a Wales fan, you really want to see them put Italy to the sword after the French did so. So, again, I'm Aaron Castro for The Hook. Like, subscribe, comment, get in the conversation.